Welcome to my desk. It's a mess. We have a special guest. This is my child. I birthed her, not joking, 72 hours in labor. It was totally worth it. She is beautiful in every way. Do we know who the father is? No. Okay, Queen, we have Taco Bell. Because I just got home from work and I'm freaking tired. Barely 1 p.m. I started working at 8 in the morning. See, when I graduate college, I'm literally going to have a 9 to 5. And I had that first experience just now, and I thought we could have a little mukbang while I read a couple Reddit stories. A Pepsi. I got a Pepsi instead of a Dr. Pepper. Sorry, I know that's like, it's kind of like going against like my own people like that. I don't know what this accent is. I'm really trying. First thing on Reddit. Drake Bell and Josh Peck reunite. Okay, I don't wanna. I'm gonna do scary stories. I'm in the Halloween mood. How about that? It's literally March. What is your most disturbing, scary, creepy, real story? These are real stories, people. Before we get into that, let's have a taste test. We have cinnamon crunchies. I'm sorry, but I'm taking off my pants. It just had to be done. I also went to the gym for the first time yesterday with my roommate. We did the 12-3-30 workout. I decided to do a little gardening beforehand to make it a little bit easier, you know. And I put on the Brittany Broski podcast, and literally I was in Lululand. I was having such a great, I was like cracking up on the treadmill. All right, I don't know what the these are, but they literally were like a requirement to get the box. I got them with potatoes instead of steak because the steak at Taco Bell scares me a little bit. Chipotle ranch. Wait, they just have mini crunch wraps. They have less salad in it, but down with a smile. If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you. Okay, let's get into the first one. I just clicked on the first one, so if these were read before, it was like 11 years ago. Enough, all right? This is my first time reading them. A few years ago, I was walking through the woods off a beaten track a bit, and I smelled this really overpowering sweet smell. Being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look and found a dead body. It smells sweet? I thought it was like rancid, like so bad that people will literally never forget it. You're telling me it smells sweet. The guy had clearly been there a while and wasn't looking great, all swollen and green and black with various runny bits. Ew. The local wildlife had also been dining well for a few days. You know what, this is so upsetting because I have been wanting to get into hiking, and I swear to God, if lo and behold, you look so cute right now. Look at my daughter. Yeah. You're literally minding your business, and then all of a sudden, boom, a dead body. Like, that's gonna ruin my life. Like, what am I supposed to do with myself after that? Like, that's literally traumatic. Not only that, I will have to call the police and talk to them. No. I'm scared of the police. What if they decide to accuse me? Because I found it on accident. I called the police, who told me to wait with the body until they arrived. Absolutely not. If they tell me to wait there, I'd be like, can I like go home and cry? I don't want to be here with it, with all of like the smells. What if like, I don't know, a bear decides to like come and have a little chomp? Like, I don't want to be around for that. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive, and it got dark, and I just sat there in the dark with him for a long time. Yeah, absolutely not. Sorry, not doing that. Turned out that he had unalived himself. For a long time afterwards, I had dreams about him, and he would talk to me, and not nice things. Mainly about how he was angry I had disturbed his resting place, and he wanted me to off myself. Probably just my imagination, but all pretty disturbing at the time. He still turns up in my dreams from time to time, and no doubt will be tonight after typing this. Yeah. Apparently, it's like a thing in my family. Like, my dad can see ghosts, my aunt can see ghosts, and I've never been able to see a ghost, but apparently as a child, like, because apparently children are, like, more likely to, like, be able to, like, talk and see the ghosts. I was full on having conversations with the ghosts that used to live in our house, because every single house that we've lived in, especially that first house that I grew up in, was literally haunted. We just brought a ghost with us, like, every single time that we moved. And I, as a child, I was like full on having conversation with these like ghosts. And everyone was like, girl, quit talking to them. And I'm like, oh, he's my friend. And the thing is, I don't remember this, but I've been told this is what happened. And that's really terrifying. That really is. That's so disturbing. And then when we moved into the house that my parents are living in currently, there was apparently a ghost already there. My dad has seen it, my aunt has seen it. He just like hangs out on like a certain side of the house, and like we just don't like, and like if we don't disturb him, he doesn't disturb us. So he's just kind of like there. I totally believe in ghosts. Just because consciousness, where does that go? Because like we're literally conscious. Like where does it go? It's just gone. That's kind of scary to think about, so I just choose to believe that it doesn't go away. About 2 years ago, I was driving home from a family reunion pretty late at night, and the drive was about 2 hours. I didn't stay the night because I had to be back for work the following day. Most of the drive was on roads with dense bushes and trees on the other side. The real creepy ones you see a lot in movies. Anyway, I had been driving about 45 minutes and I started getting really tired. You know how sometimes you just suddenly become really tired out of nowhere? No. Well, yeah, that happened to me. I knew it wasn't going to last, but I didn't come across any place that I felt I could park safely and sleep. Also, a man definitely wrote this, because what do you mean you're just going to pull off on the side of the road and take a nap in your car? That's terrifying. The world was Anyway, after I became clear, reading comprehension, not. Anyway, after it became clear to me that I wasn't going to find a place to pull up and my tiredness wasn't going away, I did something very questionable. I pulled over to the side of the road onto the grass behind some bushes to try and hide my car from anybody else who was going to come past the roads. I came across another car every few minutes or so. I made a mental note that the time was 11:22, then I fell asleep. Sometime later, I was awoken by scratching sounds. No. Scratching sounds piss me off, because even if it's not a demon, it's like definitely a creature, like some type of rodent, some type of animal that has nails. Not good. Regardless, looked at the clock, 11:50. The sound stopped after a few seconds, and because I was still extremely tired, I didn't bother looking around and simply went back to sleep. Man behavior. I was later awoken by the same sound, and now it was 12:40. This time it really freaked me. This time, it really freaked me out because the sound wouldn't stop. The thought ran across my mind that it was just an animal inspecting the car. But why would it return almost an hour after I had left the previous time? I looked at my rearview mirror and just managed to catch a glimpse of something running away into the forest. No! Because what do you mean? It was running away. It's fast. No thank you. Now, at the time, I thought it was a damn hook killer. You know, that one that scratched the couple's car and then slaughtered the guy when he got out to investigate? F that, I thought to myself, so I got the heck out of there. There was a bend no more than 100 yards up the road, and as I came around it, there was a freaking car parked on the side of the road with the driver's side door opened. No. I slowed down just to look to see if anyone was in there. There wasn't. Then I looked in my rear view mirror. I didn't see it, and then all of a sudden this guy comes around, sprinting around the corner. He starts screaming at me and shouting stuff like, hey, get the F out of your car now. I noped the F out of there and sped off. Never saw the guy again. Moral of the story, don't freaking sleep on the side of a deserted road. Yeah, I could have told you that. Don't do that. I'm glad it was a person and not a ghost. Actually, people are more dangerous than ghosts, for real. Unless it's a demon. You know what's crazy? I don't believe in God, but I sure do believe in demons. At least, I don't believe in God in the sense that I was raised Catholic, that God that they describe doesn't make sense to me. Like, once I gained consciousness and I went to church, I was kind of like, wait, there's some inconsistencies here. And so just was like, maybe there is a God, but maybe they have it wrong. Their guess as to what he's like, they just didn't hit the mark. Also, maybe she. I think she makes more sense because Mother Nature, women create things. Men don't do anything. They literally just like Not you licking your entire hole. Girl, okay, whatever. I don't know what I was talking about. Let's move on. Wait. It's okay. I got, we're gonna try something crazy. Doritos Locos Tacos. I'm gonna pour some of this Chipotle ranch. Slay. Bow. Bow. This is gonna go everywhere, huh? Well, yes. I love Doritos Locos Tacos. Damn. Walk through fire for you. Just let me adore you. Like it's the only thing I'll ever do. Oh. I deserve this. I just finished my finals. I went to the gym for the first time in my whole life. I'm scared of the gym. That's the reason I've never gone before. Move on. A few summers ago, I went for a bike ride around midnight with a friend. We went our separate ways at the end of the evening, and I had about 2 blocks to ride back by myself. Because of construction, I had to ride on the sidewalk, but the streets were dead. It wasn't a problem until right where I was about to turn left onto my street. There was this man walking by himself, maybe 40s, a little scruffy but not homeless. Men, what is he doing out there in the night? Men shouldn't be allowed outside. What are you doing outside? Did you have permission to leave your house? I don't think so. The sidewalk was narrow and I didn't want to freak him out, so when I got about 6 feet behind him, I said, "Hey, behind you," and he turned around and gave me this super angry look. Of course. Because of course a man would be unnecessarily angry for no reason. Of course! Turned down the street and he started to follow me, literally screaming about how I was effing cunt and he was going to and all that. Hello? Oh, men are so emotional. Like, you're telling me you were warning him to make sure you were doing this for him. You could have just ran him over, but instead you were like, "Hey, queen, I'm behind you." And instead of being like, "Oh, thanks," he decided he's going to try and I will never understand. Mankind. It should be womankind. Anyways, I live right off the corner and I didn't want him to figure that out, so I decided to do another loop around the block. That's not the scary part. I'd say that's pretty terrifying. Alright, I'm scared. The scary part is that when I looped back around and looked down the street, I saw him standing on my effing front stoop. What's a stoop? Like your porch? Staring out at the street like that mother effer knew I lived there. He saw me ride by again but he didn't say anything. This man was standing on your porch? Okay. That man was definitely stalking you. What was he doing out in the night when everybody else, especially if you live in a neighborhood where it's like kind of like suburbia, usually people aren't out at night because they all go inside and it's like time for night because they all have like 9 to 5s. Why is a random man like walking around? He was definitely like, he knew that you had left your house and was waiting for you to get back. I ended up going back to the friends, but my bike got stolen from the alleyway by the house 2 days later. The guy in question was definitely not actually homeless. We have a large portion of population mentally ill in that area. Oh, this is an edit. Sorry. Area, unfortunately, downtown to a medium-sized city. So if I didn't think the sidewalk was too narrow to pass otherwise, I wouldn't have disturbed him. Half the scary part was that he looked pretty much completely normal for my area. That being said, I ended up texting my mom and she made the decision to not notify law enforcement until my bike was stolen. Okay. I still would have been like, "Hey, there's this guy that's just like creeping around." No, because that's stalking. Why is he in front of your house? You could call the police for that, to be like, "Hey, there's this random man in front of my house and he's not leaving and I don't want him there." I feel like that's totally valid. If the police are gonna have that much goddamn money, put them to work. What are they doing? Sitting in their car waiting for someone to drive by speeding? Okay, calm down. Calm down. My kids are listening to Kids Bop. Okay. Flavor. Damn. Not sorry about it. I'm a soda like fiend. I drink way too much soda for my own good, but I can't stop. It's so good. You want some cheese? My girl is definitely obsessed with cheese. Okay, let's read another story. I had awesome parents who let me sleep in the living room on weekend nights when I was very young because my sister was a light sleeper and I could stay up until dawn. This is a white person. Because if I asked my parents, like, "Hey, it's the weekend, can I stay up? Maybe I'll do it on the couch so I don't wake up my sister who I'm sharing a room with." They'd laugh in my face and tell me to go back into my room or that I would regret it. Only a white person could get away with it. I'm sorry, it's true. But of course I always ended up sleeping on the couch because Nick at Night made me tried. Wait. Nick at Night made me tried. I think they meant tired. So one night, I wake up to the prickly feeling, like an instinct, just bolted into a sitting position and stared out the front window. We lived in rural Georgia, so you can imagine the magnitude of the trees. The perfect light cast from the moon. I see a silhouette of someone in this effing tree. The family dog dashes to the window and is snarling into the glass. That's the thing. Is this girl, she has a sixth sense. Anytime she sees anybody that she feels is a little sketchy, she'll loud as hell, so effing loud that it literally, like, it startled me when my heart actually starts racing. And then I go check to see what she's looking at and I'm like, girl, you're fine, it's fine. Also, she's like started growling before at night into a corner. That was definitely a night. Because she's just a girl and I'm just a girl. What are we supposed to do if there's actually a threat? I don't want her to protect me because what if she gets hurt? And to be fair, like, her first instinct is to like go receive pets, not to like attack someone. So like, anyway, terrified, I run to my parents' room and I try to explain to my parents that there's a strange person outside. Dad grabs something defensive and darts outside with the dogs to beat the wax off the hothead. Huh? I tremble in Mama's arms. Oh, in Mama's arms. Until Dad comes home and says he saw no one and to go to bed. I decide to sleep in my regular bedroom. I feel my sister-in-law. I fill in my sister in as to what happened. Dad is making regular rounds around the house with a cup of coffee. We're all still, and I finally think I can sleep. Nope, I notice the man outside my window. From what I could see in the moonlight, he gives me a shush signal and runs away. Just turns around and runs in a straight line. I swear I couldn't stop crying for what felt like hours. Now, do you see how the moral of the story is that ghosts usually do not bother you? It's people. Particularly men. You know, when Ryan Reynolds was asked what's the dangerous animal and he said man and everybody laughed, that man was dead serious. He meant it. And I think he's valid for that. Also, the first time that I had a night terror, I've only ever had one night terror. It was when I was visiting my aunt in Oregon. Because I'm from California, alright? Oregon, way too dang cold for me to visit. But I was a child, having a grand old time. Come time to sleep, I wake up in the middle of the night. And I turn to my left. I see under like their table beside because we're all sleeping on the floor of the living room. I see their little table. Underneath it, I see what looks like me, but in a white dress, wet hair, wet clothes. And she's just smiling at me and laughing at me. And I get woken up. I didn't know that I was still asleep. I thought I woke up and I saw that and I had no reaction. I don't remember screaming or anything. But they woke me up and they were like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, I was just dreaming. And they were like, no, like you were screaming. And so I was like, what the hell? I don't know what that was. It was just something I made up probably. Also, the fire sauce is really good. This is my favorite. Like, the flavor is real good. I tried the Diablo sauce, but that stuff tasted really bad. The flavor's so much. Oh my god. Oh damn. I'm just gonna finish this because it's literally about to fall apart. Ugh. This is gonna be the last one. Sorry, I know we're having a grand old time. I lived in a bizarre little house as a child. It was incredibly tall and thin. Okay, Bella Hadid. Like an attached house except freestanding with 3 floors and a basement and an attic. It was full of quirks, such as 2 fully functional fireplaces and a shower stall in the center of the basement. A backyard so small that you could not take 5 paces without hitting a fence, and an old-timey rope pulled down water that had led from the kitchen to my bedroom. I love that weird little place, but unfortunately it was incredibly old, and half of its charm was the fact that it seemed to have been designed by an inarticulate conclave of lunatics, and eventually the repair costs exceeded what my parents were willing to sink into. And we had to move. Okay, writer. Preparing to move was a chore. I had packed most of the stuff myself, and I had taken to throwing stuff down the dumbwaiter and shoving all my clothes so thickly in my closet that they became a single solid brick of fabric. This person, write a book, how about that? While clearing that closet out, in fact, I came across a feature that I hadn't noticed before, an attic entrance in the roof. Being an adventurous kid, I opened her up and stood on the closed brick and began my first and last exploration to the topmost part of a weird little house. Have y'all seen Hereditary? Don't go into an attic unless you want to find some effed up shit. The first thing I noticed is that it wasn't as dark as it should have been. That's a good thing. though, right? This place was strung with old red Christmas lights, which still burned with leftover incandescence, and a dozen little cracks and holes peeped down into all the bedrooms below. Oh, hell no. What if someone goes in there, they can peep into you in your room? The second thing I noticed was that the place was set up for habitation. Insulation was plasticed away, and there was an old gurney piled with sleeping bags and sheets, and a rusted mint green refrigerator, which still worked when I tested it. No, there was people. Those people were spying on you in your drawers. Oh, that's so... Because a lot of people, like, their room is where they can act like a freak. What if I wanted to, I don't know, do at-home workouts? I don't want someone spying on me. They're trying to do a push-up. No! People should not be allowed to watch you in your private time, okay? The third thing was bones. There were a lot of bones. Do you like your bone? There was a lot of bones. I was a kid at the time with limited understanding of anatomy, but there were bones. There were bones of all types heaped into a series of piles around the center of the attic. Piles? Small and large, clean and white, from every and any imaginable sort of creature, haphazardly stacked in a half dozen osseous clumps. Is that how you say osseous? Because it's like osteoporosis. 2 of them were blackened, as if someone had tried to burn them, and the walls nearest those blackened piles were scrawled in dark bone char messages. Mostly they were just smears, but the word sorry appeared more than once. That room had been sitting over my head for 8 years while I slept. Okay, so there was either serial killers living in your attic or people who like killed animals, which is not that far away from becoming a serial killer. That's like one of like the things. They start with animals, then they move on to humans. And you're telling me that they tried to burn these bones and they wrote sorry on the walls and they could see into your rooms while you were trying to do an at-home Pilates workout? No! See, I live in an apartment building that has several floors. I'm on the 2nd floor, meaning that there's a floor above me. I'm gonna check every crevice to see if anybody can see in here because I'm scared. All right, that's enough of that because I'm freaked out. I don't want anybody looking in on me. That's like a thing. Freakadoodles will find ways to like look, to spy on people. Anyways, hope you had fun. I had fun. Finally satisfied my hunger because I'm a hungry bitch. All right. Yeah. Bye.